There's no set. We're gonna give it a couple of minutes. So you're live right now. So
we're live.
Don't talk about that, your girlfriend, because your wife might be tuned in right now and you think we're not. I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna share it since we're live and put it on the page. Let me see here. If I can find
the Fort Bragg Hunt Club's not the same without you, buddy. I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back, actually. So there are some days.
That was a long vacation.
There are some days when I'm rolling through Gillis Hill up here, and it's traffic, and I hate the world, and I'm like, what in the hell did I? Well, I don't even know what I got myself into coming back here.
So you were gone for how long?
7 months, 7.5 months.
Okay.
Yeah. It says we're live for the last 18 seconds, but I'm waiting for it to pop up on the feed. So there's like there's a delay.
Wait, so how do you know Skipper was after Chris's buck? The one that he killed?
I don't know. But you're live right now. You want to ask him?
No one's even on there.
You're live.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You had said that.
No, I said I think I was joking with him when I said you're the one that killed Skipper's deer. Is that live right now? Are you on YouTube? Hit the share button underneath it and then go to the Fort Bragg Hunt Club page and share it, please. It's trippy, huh? It's your first time being on live TV?
Nah. All right. Where's Fort Bragg?
I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Bear with us. It's the first one. Once you share it to the Fort Bragg page, then we'll rock.
Yeah, it's up there.
Okay.
All right.
Yep, there it is. Tune in, Christopher Rodriguez. All right. Put it on mute. We don't need that feedback. All right.
Can we see if there's anybody on there?
There's 2 watching.
Yeah, they're going to be watching, but don't pay attention to that. Pretend like that's not there, because the way a podcast works is we're having a conversation. They're kind of tuning in.
Yeah.
As it goes on, if I can do it, I'll go on and try to answer some questions. But Steve Randal, welcome back, man. It's good to see you. Dr. Steve Randal and Chris.
Steve Randal. You can just call me Chris Rivas.
Chris Rivas, not Rodriguez.
Yeah, I have 2 last names.
What does it say on
pain
that?
in the ass.
What does it say? Rodriguez Rivas or
Rivas Rodriguez?
Okay.
Yeah, especially in the Army. Dude,
Yeah.
filling out forms.
Yeah.
All that.
Why didn't you just drop one?
Because it's like disrespectful to my mom.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So, all right. So we know about you.
Yeah.
But first, let me get into let me get a little spiel in before we get into all of this. All right. Welcome to the Latitude Ranch. We rebranded. Everybody wants to know what the Latitude Ranch is. The Latitude Ranch is this very dope, high fence hunting ranch that grows the best deer. Okay. It only exists inside my imagination. the Latitude roofing, the LR logo, I want to just kind of keep it because I have to pay for those logos. So I rebranded it. So that's it. Before we get into this, we'll probably talk about the deconflict that's coming up. Finally, I know you hosted one that was for your friends. I know there's a lot of people that might have been butthurt that they didn't get invited, but it wasn't a Fort Bragg Hunt Club event.
It was the cool kids.
Doctor, I was gonna say Steve don't have any friends other than the people on the page, so that's why everybody there was like from the page.
Yeah.
But that was a good time, man. I really, you and your wife went out, and everybody that provided food there. I don't know if you did or not, but the food was good.
Yeah,
it was not surprisingly for white folks. It wasn't underseasoned. little bit underseasoned.
How about those
the corn could have used some
brownies?
They were good.
They were good.
They were gay. They were very gay.
They were.
I wanted to hate them.
They
were so good. Your wife made those. I thought you made them.
No, she did.
That was good.
The banana pudding, though.
The banana pudding was off the chain. I don't know who made that.
Wife's friend.
That's my favorite dessert, man.
Yeah,
That was the diet version, right? Sugar free,
yeah,
gluten free,
sure,
all that. Yeah. All right, so let's get in. Let's first let's do some character development and learn about you, Chris Rodriguez. Where are you from, man?
I'm from Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia?
Yeah.
Why did I think you were from Texas? Because you're Mexican?
Probably.
You just look like a Texas guy. Northern Virginia, whereabouts specifically?
Oh, shoot. It's like Gainesville. It's like 30 minutes outside from D.C.
Okay.
So
you grew up there your whole life?
Yeah.
Did you hunt up there?
No. So I just started hunting here on Bragg back in 2020 during COVID.
Really? Just a new one. And you killed that nice deer? This guy hates this. Okay. You are how old?
29.
29 in the Army.
In Army.
Okay. All right. So what brought you to deer hunting?
Oh shit! I always wanted to do it growing up. Just living up in Northern Virginia, it's not really like it's not a lot of public land.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really never the opportunity to do it out there. And then went through basic. There's a dude that hunted out in Colorado, and he was like, "Yeah, man," talking it all up. I was like, "Oh, that shit sounds dope." So we got to BRAGG, and then I went to SFAS. I failed. Then I get back.
Where'd you fail? Stop. What
Where?
point? What point? In
Oh, it was the
SFAS?
Nasty Nick.
The obstacle course.
The obstacle course.
What part of the obstacle course?
It's the walking ladder.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell were you even doing that you weren't ready for that? Nasty Nick, come on. That's okay. A lot
It's
of
all
people.
good.
At least
It's
you
all
went
good.
and tried. But
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, I got back and I was like, damn, I'm on student status. I don't know what to do.
Wait, did you go in as an X-ray?
Yeah.
So that's how you ended up in the 82nd.
Yeah.
That's how the 82nd gets all their voice from the X-ray program.
Yeah. So that happened. I got back and I was like, I looked up the regulations and I was like, oh, it's turkey season.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't have enough time. I got like a week to get my stuff ready. So summer went by, and then the whole COVID thing happened. Because I was sitting at Camp McCall, and we were just like going to the DFAC because we didn't have no phones or anything like that.
Yeah.
We were on lockdown. We're just seeing the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
And it was like nobody was in Rome walking or anything. It was wild. Anyways, got back, and then I started Googling stuff for hunting. And my dad had bought me a dart. I think it was a Martin bow.
I never heard of a Martin. Was it a Martin or a Darton?
Martin. There's Martin bows.
Is there? I never heard of
It's
it.
old. He got it off
Yeah.
Craigslist.
It's kind of like a Matthews and Darton, like
Yeah, it was Martin archery. Anyways, it was sitting in the shed all summer. I didn't ever practice with it, and I took it out. I dry fired it, and boom.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I went up to Virginia, ended up going to the bow shop there, got a VXR Matthews, and I started shooting there. And I'm like, okay, how do I do this hunting stuff? Started watching YouTube videos, started reading all the stuff. Then I got out to the woods. It was like a whole different ballgame.
Oh yeah.
Everything that they tell you for topo maps and finding sign and finding the food, the acorns, I was like lost as a puppy in the woods. So I was going out. I was just walking. You know, no idea what I'm looking for. I've never seen a rub in my life. I've never seen a shed. I'm just walking through the woods. I'm like looking at the topo maps on Onyx and seeing like saddles that we have here. But they're, I mean, you get out there and it's
like little bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let me set up. And I had a climber, old heavy aluminum climber. And I'm like, and I had a Mazda 6 at the time. And you know, the Firebirds, you ain't getting back there without a truck.
Yeah.
So I'm driving back there. I'm just like parking it, or my wife dropping me off at the edge of the area. I'm like walking in a mile or two with a climber.
That's crazy.
It sucked. And it was like hot because it was early season. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give me a deer. I'm like finding tracks and I'm like sitting there. And it's like, well, it was like the first time I went out. I go to climb the tree. I'm like 6 feet up. I'm like terrified. I'm like, this is good. I sat there for about like 30 minutes. And then I was like, ain't no deer. I got back down. And then I just kept walking and walking. And I'm like, all right, nothing's happening. I didn't even set up that night.
So this is, at this point, you're now hunting.
Yeah.
You got no Obi-Wan, nobody telling you nothing. You're just going straight off.
Going off Google and YouTube. And I'm out
that
there.
might be a good way to go about it, though. Fuck up a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
A mentor can save you some time.
Yeah,
if
true.
you have a mentor that can show you the ropes right off the bat, dude, big game changer.
Yeah.
And luckily I met somebody later on. But yeah, first few seats. And then I ended up hunting somewhere else. And I finally saw some does. And it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh shit, does. And I'm like,
hell yeah.
grabbed my bow and I like checked it. It was like 40 yards. I was like, oh, I can't take that shot. They disappeared. And I kept hunting that little group of does for a while, for like the next 2 weeks. And I kept seeing them. And they kept busting me, or they're just out of range. And I was like, all right, whatever. So one day I pulled up to the area and there was somebody else there. His name was Tom. And I ended up meeting him and we ended up becoming friends. And he was showing me the ropes. He's like, yeah man, you got to look. He's like, I'll show you some rubs. He's like, I'll show you what to look for.
That's cool.
Yeah. So he's like, here it's different. He's like, you got to go by the terrain more so. But like the way the features are on BRAGG versus like what you see on YouTube. You know how they say follow the oak ridges, find the saddles and all that, the contour lines. Anyways, we ended up setting up. And then I I sat in the morning that one time in the same saddle that I was sat, and a little spike came out, and I was so excited. I was like, dude, there's a deer coming. It was like 40, 60 yards, somewhere between there, and he like took off. And then he texted me. He's like, dude, I had a nice buck come. I missed. I was like, damn. 25-yard shot. He said he missed. So we went back later that evening, and he kind of put me close to where he was sitting at. But I like checked on Onyx. I was like, this looks like a good spot. What do you think? And he was like, yeah, it's like pretty close to me. I was like, all right, cool, let's sit it. And then that night, this was like in November, I ended up having that spike come out that I saw in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed completely.
How'd you miss them? Over or under?
I think, I don't even know. I don't know where the arrow went. Dude, so when the bow shop up in Virginia, I set up my bow, they put me out like a 28.5-inch draw length. And I'm 27 inches.
Yeah.
So that was like inch and a half. So I'm in the tree, and I had a saddle at this point. I ended up getting a saddle because of him. He was like, dude, you got to get a saddle. So I bought this old trophy line, and I'm like in the tree. I'm like this, and I'm like stretching it, and the bow's like this. And I'm just like, I don't know where it went. I thought I hit the deer. We're over there looking for blood and stuff, and I was like, all right. So we went back.
Were you
up in the
filming
tree.
at this time?
No, I wasn't filming yet, dude. I wasn't even there yet. Yeah. Like I was barely seeing deer. So we went back in the tree, and then I'm sitting there, and it's like another 2 hours pass because it was still early, and a buck comes out with 3 does, and I was like, oh shit. And I pull out the grunt too. I'm like, bleh, bleh. And I pull out the rattle bag, and I'm like, and that dude just looks at me and just takes off. It's like, dude, you shouldn't have done that. I was like, I didn't know better. Yeah. So, anyways, we got down, and then we went back later that week to that same spot because I was like, dude, I'm gonna go hunt it again because now I know where they're coming from, or I know the trail that they're taking. And I set up there, and he was gonna set up with me that day, but I forgot he had to pull some NCO duties because there was a kid that overdosed or something at Swig, and he had to watch him or something like that. So he had to like leave while we're in the woods. So we're sitting up there, or I'm sitting up there by myself, and I just see like a whole platoon coming from behind me. And I'm like, fuck. They're just coming from my left, and they kind of make their way around, and then I guess they spooked the does because I had like a group of 6 does coming. I seen from like 300 yards. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, they're coming. They're coming. I'm over here like moving all around on my saddle, getting position, checking all the ranges.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, they're going to come right here. I'm going to smack one. Anyways, they're like coming, and then for some reason, you can hear the ranges in the background, and I guess they stop. They get all worried.
Where are you hunting, K?
No. There's plenty of ranges. All
yeah, I know.
Anyways, they're coming, and then they end up going on my weak side. You know how Randal was talking about how he goes like does that weird
over the tree. Yeah.
So what I saw on YouTube for saddle hunting was turning the opposite side and having the
seatbelt.
Yeah, the seatbelt like that. Anyway, she came, took 25-yard shot, and I just sent it. And I'm shooting like these 650 grain arrows, big old heavy broadheads, and it went right in the heart.
Nice.
She went down 20 yards down.
First deer?
Yeah, I was like,
hell yeah, shaking.
I'm texting my buddy. He's like, dude, that's awesome. And I'm like, great. Got down. I went to go get her. I was like, damn, she's kind of small. But I mean,
first deer.
Yeah,
who cares,
I know. Biologists
really,
weighed her. Aged her at like 3.5.
That's good doe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good doe. Yeah.
But they look bigger from the tree.
Of course
kind of
they
like
do.
the buck did for you.
Shut up, man.
So I'm
I thought that was a monster when I shot him. Yeah.
That's how my first buck was. So I get down, I look at her, I take my pictures and stuff, and then I pull her to the car, and I'm still in the Mazda 6, and I can't get her through the fire break. So I'm like hauling this doe for like a mile. And the dude from Wildlife calls me. He's like, hey, man, it looks like you checked in the doe. You going to bring her in or what? I'm like, bro, I'm so far from my car right now. And I'm like breathing so heavy. And then I like gutted her there. I like put a Steve Ranella video on, put it on the trunk of a tree, and I started watching how to what's it called?
Didn't even know how to gut it.
I was like, oh my
That's
God.
awesome, man.
I was like, all right, cool. Gutted her, made her super light, got her back to the truck, checked her in. I was like, sweet. I was so happy. Told my wife, because she had bought me some Sitka prior to that. Because I was working on something like Academy.
Oh, man.
Academy, you know, that real tree.
So you put the Sitka on and killed a deer.
Yeah, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah,
See?
exactly.
Yeah. The deer weren't laughing at you no more.
Like, all right. So it was like, what, fast forward like 4 days, I go back out and I'm scouting some more, and I bumped some does, and then I took all day to scout. I bumped some does, and I was like walking around the area. I'm like, okay, that's all I saw. I was like, let me just go set up on this random ridge randomly. So those does I bumped, they didn't really go that far, but I ended up setting up on their trail.
Oh shit!
And then they ended up coming in probably like 30 minutes before the sun went down. And then they just made their way up to me like 25 yards, took another shot, dropped her on the spot.
Wow.
So I got 2 deer. Now I'm like super happy. I got 2 deer. I was like, first
now
season,
you're like
2 deer. Yeah.
the man. I'm like, I'm a
Yeah.
fucking hunter now.
Yeah. I was like, I gotta give me a buck. I didn't see anything for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Nothing worth.
What year was this? You said 20?
2020. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, last year you got a nice one.
Yeah. Last year I got a nice one.
Yeah. And the year before that?
The year before that.
Do I remember him getting a
I
nice
got my
one?
velvet buck.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I
See,
got
I
my
keep
velvet
up,
buck.
man. Yeah.
Second day of the season, I got that guy. And then
I
the
remember
year.
that now.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, you said that.
Very few people have done that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sculpt
The last guy that I knew that got a buck in
Velvet?
velvet was BT, and that was years ago. On opening day, he got a 10 point.
Yeah.
It's a
They
small
usually-
one,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean,
small
it was nice. Yeah.
Mine was decent. I mean, he was an 8-pointer.
Best thing for
Wow.
a new guy. He
Yeah.
self-filmed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a video up on YouTube. If you guys check out my channel, it's Revis Bow Hunting. You can
Yeah.
see that kill on there.
Okay.
You see the
So
awesome
you're
shot
so in 3 years, going on 4 years, you're already like pretty good. You're filming. You're pretty
Yeah.
confident now.
Pretty
You
confident.
still get all shaky and
Oh, dude,
nervous.
doesn't
Yeah.
end. That, I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
When
my
that ends, you
problem.
have to quit.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
stop getting nervous at
Yeah,
all.
I wish I could get a little bit more. That I think I still get like, even yesterday I was driving to a job in Laurinburg and there was like a
Yeah.
bachelor group out in the field, the bean field, and I almost ran off the road.
Yeah.
Like literally, I was like, "Oh shit, I'm going slow." I hit the rumble strip. like, I got to stop that little bit of like freaking out that I always get. Hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. It might help if I plug that bitch in, huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna lose power. Hold on a second. Sorry. You know, I usually use my phone, my microphone. I bought this fucking attachment, and it just doesn't work. I don't know what the fuck. Okay. All right.
So yeah, 2021, I killed my first buck, and I didn't kill no does that season. So my first season, I killed 2 does. My second season, I killed 2 bucks, and then the first buck I killed, it was like during the rut. It was like sometime in November. It was like probably second or third week of November, if I recall correctly. Anyway, I was walking out there. I told my wife, look, I was like, I'm gonna go out. It's cold. I'm just gonna go walk. And then I was walking the fire breaks, walking around the draws, trying to find some sign. I was like, I need to kill a buck this season. So I'm like probably like 2 miles in the area, and I see this buck come out of the draw, and I'm like maybe 15 yards from him. I don't have a bow. I went scouting without a bow.
Shit. During the season when you
Yeah,
did it,
during the season when I can kill him, and I was like, shit, what do I do?
Did he see you?
No. So he like, it was like the tip of the draw that meets the fire break. He came right out and then just looped around and went back into the draw. Ran back to my car. Fastest 2 miles I've ever done. Got back to the car, put all my shit on, grabbed my bow, went back and circled around that draw. It was pretty big. So I circled around it trying to find a spot, looking at the maps, trying to see where they might be moving through.
Mhm.
And then I was like, I went in on the other side of where he was at, probably about maybe like 400 yards. It was pretty wide. Set up, and then this was like probably like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning now. I'm sitting there all day. And then the wind changed up. And I'm like, shit. Good thing with the saddle, you can climb down super easily, get in
Mhm.
another tree. So I did that. Got up in another tree. Now I'm set up. And I waited all day until like it was like 4:54. And at this time, the sun was going down by like 5:30. Like
Yeah.
legal light was over.
Mhm.
4:54. I just hear the leaves just coming in. Well, I lied because prior to that, a little doe came out.
Mhm.
A little doe came out the draw. I was like, oh, I just was like recording it. I was like, pretty cool. And next thing you know, I hear that. It was another doe getting chased by that buck. And I was like, oh shit. And I pulled out my bow and I'm like, Matt. And he finally stops in the thick stuff. And I like quickly ranged him. He was like 25 yards. I shot and I went under. I was like, fuck.
Oh damn.
Yeah. And then he was like, didn't know what happened. And I had, see, the nice thing about the Sitka, I don't know if you have the Stratus jacket.
Mhm.
It's got the little grunt tube holder right here.
I didn't know. I got the Stratus jacket. I didn't know it had that.
Yeah, it's got the little, it's like a, I don't know what to call it, but it's got a little tube right here that you can put the tube in.
Mhm.
So that way you can do it handless. So I was like,
Oh, okay.
I was like, right. And then luckily a little spike came back or behind too. And now they're just like facing off at each other. And I'm just watching this
Damn.
deer just face off at each other. And the doe is like kind of gone. And now this buck and Spike are looking at each other, and he starts chasing him off. And then I was like, he went into the draw where this first doe came out of, and I was like, fuck, he's gone. And then he came back, cut right in front of me, and I like the Spike came in, and then the buck came in chasing him, and he came in and he stopped, and I ranged 25 yards, and I took a shot 25 yards.
Damn, you were pretty calm, because I would have ranging and all that. Fuck that. 30 yards. I'm sending arrows.
I had the camera too. I was like, all right, he's coming in. I got the camera set up. I was like, perfect hard shot.
And you got all that on film?
Yeah, I got it all on film.
That's on his channel as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm gonna check that out. What is that again?
Revis Bowhunting.
Revis Bowhunting.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he comes in and I get right at 25 yards. I take the shot. I was using some ironwood broadheads at the time, and then sent it right through him, and he went down like 10 yards, and then he's just like.
What was he? I mean, I'll go check out the video. What was he? 8-pointer?
Yeah, he was an 8-pointer. I mean, he looked huge.
Yeah.
Like you said, they be looking big.
They look big as hell.
I was like, oh, he's a big
yeah.
bug. And now I hold him because he's in my daughter's room, and I'm like, nah.
It's still, man.
I
That's a good memory, man. That's an intriguing story, especially for someone it sounds like a seasoned guy. You know, like this is like your 10th or 12th year to be able to film, range, keep it together, move. Like even know to change because the wind shifted on you. I know guys been hunting 15, 20 years that don't hunt like that.
I was on YouTube watching videos, reading forums,
I think
on
that's,
Facebook.
yeah.
That's the thing.
Dude, it's just getting
when you want it, you know, you'll figure those things out. You'll go out there and fail, and you're like, I'm not doing that again. How do I fix this? There's so many people that
it just comes down
things
to learning the basics of hunting
Yeah.
and then applying that every
Well, I think
time.
you came into hunting at a time. So guys that have been hunting, we always guys that have been hunting 20, 30 years, we always give them like but you know, those guys came up hunting. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying the difference is when you come in hunting, to say you came in the early 80s and the 70s, what were you really doing? You were hunting over corn. You know, you went. That's why I always say that the post. I was joking. I didn't want to piss anybody off about their grandpa, but everybody goes to that whole. My granddaddy killed more deers than you've ever seen. You know,
Blue Jays.
well, your granddaddy was pretty much sitting in a wooden stand over a corn pile, and he shot every fucking thing that came out. And if he got lucky, something with some horns was on it, and then he was the big man for the day. But he wasn't reading topographical maps. He wasn't. You know, a lot of people talk about their granddad, and I'm sure your granddad was great. I had the greatest grandfather in the world. Shittiest hunter. He wasn't out there fucking tasting dirt. He was sitting over corn pile or applesauce and corn mixtures. You know, they set that up. But you come in 2020, and you have access to things like OnX. So you want to know how to use OnX if you want to do it, because it is a lot of work. Yeah. It's just like we were talking about with the sticks. Like old buddy that climbed that tree and was like 20 something feet and like 4 sticks. Yeah. He didn't just pull the sticks out of the wrapper and put them on a tree and go up there. Yeah. That took hours and hours, and it probably took a lot of hours of watching video on how other people were doing it. Because if you notice those aiders that he made those. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He didn't just pull that out of a shoebox and say, you know. So a lot of like commitment went into that. So you come into hunting during a time and you apply it, you're just getting all the technology. And not so much that, you know, I wouldn't call it, some people might say it's cheating, but it's really not.
I mean, you still got to get out there.
You still got to get out there.
All the technology in the world. If you don't know how to read OnX, you're going to be a lost dog out there. Right. How many people don't know how to land nav? Right. Because they can't read a topo map.
Yeah. And it took me a while to realize that in terms of like listening to podcasts. You can listen to every podcast, watch every video. Yeah. But until you go out there and solidify concepts, boots on the ground, and sitting there and failing, it does you know.
And you have to, because some guys don't have that in them. Like what you just said. Yeah. You tried something, you put a lot of thought into it. It didn't work. You failed. You beat yourself up over it. You don't ever want that to happen again. A lot of guys don't give a shit.
Yeah. Which is fine.
This is, you know what I'm saying? That's just, you know, that's,
I definitely think there's people out there that are like, hey, it's my solitude. It's my time.
If
I see something great, if I don't.
Yeah.
But for myself, seems like for you, I know for Chris, it's like, no, better, more. I want more every year. So
so that's where it almost takes on, I don't want to use the word athlete, but it's, for lack of a better word, almost like it becomes like it's competitive. Yeah. It's a self-competitive thing. Yeah. You're competing with yourself. Of course, men are men. So if we're sitting around, whoever's got the biggest buck is going to be like, he's the man. Yeah. And that just goes back to you imagine, 1,000 years ago when we were the hunters, and we're feeding the village. Doesn't matter what you kill. We're hunting mastodon. Everybody's gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? But if I come toting in the tusk on my shoulder, and you got 2 little tusks, and you're like giving them to the medicine man or whatever you do with the parts, and I come in and drop it, my balls are bigger that day, and that's just how it. And there's always gonna be that one guy that's like, well, you can't eat the tusk. I mean, you're gonna have some nice decorations. I mean, I fed, that's his. What is it, compensating for his mediocrity? Yeah. I don't know. I don't have that. I give props where props are due, and I fucking take them when they're due. So if I got the biggest deer, which rarely ever happens, if not never happens, but
this year,
if I kill the biggest deer on Fort Bragg,
I don't know.
I think I will tell you 5 times a day. You'll be like, look at my new car. I'll figure out a way to work in the fact that I got the biggest deer.
You're just gonna wake up the text from Buddy.
Just a reminder.
Just a reminder. I just want to remind everybody. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know how to articulate it, and I hope I'm conveying that, because you have hunters now that are into the technologies of it, not the technologies as far as just the virtual technologies, but the new systems, which I don't understand why you're still stuck on sticks. You know what I mean? I know.
Superior. You saw what at the barbecue.
They're not superior.
They're superior. You saw at the barbecue.
No,
you were stuck in the tree.
No, I wasn't stuck in the tree. No. First of all, I wasn't ready to go yet. I was just like getting set up. I thought you said, Buddy was going to go first because he had to leave. So I was just kind of setting it up. And then I tried to cam the damn thing in, and I forgot to put the strap on it. Yeah. But when it goes, I tell you what, when you get time, let's go. We'll pick a time before the season opens up. All right. And we'll start on base before season's open.
Yeah, I'm saying a race.
Not a race, because a race you can make mistakes and get hurt. I don't want no one to get hurt.
Tether.
I want to take a guy with a fucking summit. I want a guy with sticks, and I want to go a guy with a 1 stick, and then with the climbing platform. We'll all leave the truck, and we'll go to a tree, and we'll get up, and we'll see who gets up the fastest without racing. I don't want you up there like you normally would, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I can take a cigarette break halfway up the tree. With you going as fast as you can, I'll still get up faster than you with them fucking sticks.
I don't know.
I'll go halfway up. I'll go to 10 feet, take a cigarette break, and then by the time you're pulling your bow up, I'll already be packed up on the ground. But that's what we'll do. We'll go up and set up, cam in your platform, hang your equipment. We can't take our bows because obviously we going on brag, but you can simulate. Yeah, there's just no way you're getting up there faster.
It takes me on average about 10-15.
That's 10-15. It's going to take me like 2.
Yeah, but you're dropping a bunch of bark, making a bunch of noise. It wasn't no metal clacking.
Well, the thing is like when you just have your tether with
not
that
like
climbing
the
platform, you can't like each pull up. You can't get very far because you don't have nothing. You don't you're not doing a dip like you would. With
well, if I got a system now that I briefly put it on the video. I got JRB, the JRB climber. He's a big.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
He's a big saddle climbing safety rope guy.
I think he does like a single rope or double rope.
He does everything. Yeah. He's the rope guru. All right. So I watch his video a lot, and he has this thing. It's called a JRB cinch. Yeah. Okay. And I've got one now watching his video, but he'll take that pole. He calls it the Mav stick, and it's like a 6-foot pole.
The blind stick.
And he'll go up. Yeah. So I can run that thing up as soon as I get to the tree. I mean, that platform goes on in 10, 15 seconds. Then I wrap around the tree, and I can run up. I got an 8-foot pole. I'm 6 foot tall. I can set that thing 16 to 18 feet and set it, hook in my Mad Rock, and go straight up. I don't have to loop up like you saw me doing in your backyard. That's the traditional way. That's the one rope way of doing it. I guess the tether is you're not going very far. You're going to do, whereas a summit, you could probably get up in 4 lifts. You can get to like 15 feet. Yeah. This is like 6, but with the rappel rope, I'm up there, bro. I am up there. And then when I leave the thing hanging, I go up. I get up about 10 feet off the ground, and I run that thing up another, 16 feet, because I'm 8 foot if I'm reached out and I got an 8-foot pole. Yeah. So now I'm 18, 20 feet off the ground in just 2 movements.
So you need a branch, right?
Huh?
You need a branch for that.
Mm-hmm. No, the JRB cinch, and I don't have it, but I'll show you when we go out to the woods. It's I can't even explain it. It's what a rappel ring is. Yeah. So you have your rope's tied to a rappel ring. Yeah. And then hanging off of that ring is a carabiner. So you wrap the rope around the tree and you put a pinch of rope through the ring, and then you hook the carabiner. So when you let slack off of it, it self tightens. When you pull off the carabiner, it loosens up. So when I hit the stick, I get a little slack, it'll just go right up. And you can do it slowly and do it quietly. Right now, I don't have that platform silenced. It's not mine. They just send it to me as a thing. But if it was mine, I would silence it. But
at the end of the day, it's just a tool.
Yeah.
That you add to your arsenal. I mean,
yeah, but the way you guys do it's not cool, man. No, I don't. So this is the way, and I get it. I mean, if you're good with the sticks, like I said, you didn't just open up the package and get good. You had to practice with it. And you got money invested in it, and you're comfortable with it. And it's like, here comes somebody saying, here, drop another $500 or $600 on this new system. And you're like, you know what? I'm good. And it's almost like maybe a club, not a club thing, but like I hunt with sticks. You know what I mean? Where I look at it kind of like now I look at if you using just a climber, I'm kind of like, you nerd. You're a nerd.
You got all these subgroups. You got like the saddle dudes, and then you got like guys that hunt with sticks, and then you guys got like one sticks. Yeah. And now you got your kind of like a platform.
Put it this way, perfect your system. If you are legit getting to the base of a tree and then you're up at hunting height in 2-3 minutes, I am willing to change my mind. I like my system where I have to carry as you go.
Oh, I'm gonna change your mind, baby.
I get up there quick. Quick enough. But if you're getting up there and half the time I am, I'm open-minded.
Even Holloway said it. Holloway thinks, he's a stick guy, and he's laughing at the pole. I'm telling him the whole time. We work together. We're partners.
The pole is dorky.
I know, but look, I need a stick anyway. It's a walk. It's only like 4 feet long, and I'm just walking. I get my spider webs. It's my walking stick.
Those glasses.
It's so light. It's so light, but even when Holloway came out the other day when I was out there, and I ran it up the tree and I started climbing with that mad rock. Because that mad rock, now you as you lift, you're pulling that rope up. So as soon as that platform's set, or your stick, however you're going to do it, I'm using the platform, obviously, you just keep going. It's almost like you're hopping up the tree. And he was even like, I thought that shit was gay, but it really does work, and it's pretty quick. So, but anyway, I mean, that's just
like you said, perfect your system.
Yeah.
If you have a system, no matter what it is, and you can make it work, and you can work with that like throughout the off season right now, like in the summer. Yeah. So where you're getting your tree and you're getting up 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah. And you're able to do it quietly and not make a lot of movement. I mean, it works. Yeah. Don't be like me. I got my saddle, and then I got some hawk sticks, and I was like, who's got spare straps? That's how I met him.
Okay.
So he gave me the straps, and I go out there the next morning. My buddy's like, hey man, go sit here in this tree. And I'm like, okay, cool. I get out there, and I'm like, I have no idea how to do this shit. I didn't watch a video.
Yeah.
I like put it up, and I'm like hanging sideways with the lineman's rope, and I'm like, I can't do this. And then I ended up falling off the tree. It was like one step, and I was like, this is retarded. I was like, I hate this.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I tell you, 5 years ago, I don't know if I knew you yet. I think it was the year that you showed up on my camera, and you were the only other guy wearing Sitka at the time. It was just me and you at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway. Saddle hunting had just kind of came out, and I think Tethered was the only company at the time besides Trophy Line. Trophy Line had, so
they were the main ones.
Arrow, Kestrel, or something like that.
I didn't know nothing about it. Yeah. Somebody mentioned it, and then there was a guy, I can't remember his name now, but he was on the page. He was a saddle hunter, and he was selling his, and he didn't have sticks. He had those little triangle steps.
Yeah, those things
that you cam over.
Yeah.
So I had those, and then I got some sticks from a guy.
Some API sticks.
Yeah,
I remember that. You were like, this saddle isn't for me.
Yeah.
Selling shit. I'm like, I looked at your shit, and I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the same thing with all that gear.
Yeah.
For the saddle game to work, I feel like you need that lightweight gear.
Yeah.
That's why everybody's moving to all this lightweight gear with carbon fiber sticks.
You got to.
Trophy Line's hyper light.
Well, because the whole point is, look, if you're going to park at the beginning of Fire Break 6, and you're going to walk to the same tree that you've been burning up for 20 years, then by all means carry a climber. You're only going 100 yards. Yeah. Okay. Now on Fort Bragg, am I walking 5 miles? No, but I'm hunting with a mindset that I'm going into an area, and maybe on the way there I see something. So maybe I only walk 100 yards, or maybe I don't see anything I like, and I end up walking. One day I ended up walking for 2 hours. Now, I walked in a couple big circles. I never really left the area, but then I ended up getting into a tree. Yeah. So it's kind of set up like if we're going to URE, we've never been there. Yeah. We're looking at Topo all week. We're going, okay, we're going to go to these three, and we park at an underpass, and then we go. You're not going to hump a fucking summit. I don't care. Not even because even if it's lightweight at 15 pounds, the small one, it's not made to pack out.
No.
Right.
It's made, you can carry it.
Yeah, one of my buddies, he had hunted growing up, and then we got him into, Chris and I hunted with him a bit out here, and he like wasn't wanting to spend any money or like very little, you know, had to get it approved from the wife.
Yeah.
So he got some gear, he got some camo and a nice bow that I built him and whatnot. Anyways, he was like, no, dude, let me just run the climber. I'll just run the climber. And so I took him somewhere. We had to cross a creek in a game land. I had to cross a creek and go in a mile. And I was like, I'm gonna do this just to mess with them.
Yeah.
To
Just
him,
to
and then
convert
he was
them.
like- Yeah, he was like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're going a short distance, get yourself a saddle.
See, my foray into after I tried the saddle hunting, I didn't like it. Even when I finally, you know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, when I was finally in the saddle, I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't get back into it till last year. And then I went from pretty much carrying 100 pounds to a tree. And I mean, I had like enough coffee for all day.
Yeah.
I had like a nest to, I want to go as light as possible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to carry anything.
It's
Like,
a rucksack,
like
man.
how can
You
I
wanna
like,
keep the essentials? You don't want to carry anything.
yeah, there's certain things I have to have that I'm not gonna give up my coffee.
Yeah.
And I gotta have water because I have fucked up and just brought coffee and it was hot. It ended up being hot and I was like, you know, I was dehydrated, but and I've got to have my Copenhagen, and some of the gear you can shed. Like, you don't have to have a grunt, you don't have to have all the toys, you know, but I always want to bring some type of snivel gear, even if it's hot, because if the sun goes in October, you know, it might be hot in the afternoon and then the sun go down and you get cold. And I don't like being
That's the
cold.
other nice thing about the Sitka. It works as a layer system.
Yeah.
You get those lightweight layers, you're going in, you're walking around all day.
Yeah.
You get up in the tree, you're dry.
Yeah.
By the time you get up there, you can be soaking wet, 30 minutes, 1 hour in, you're dry.
Yeah.
You put on that top layer, you're good to go.
Yeah. No,
And it
Sitka's
just sheds
great,
all that
man.
moisture.
I can't say enough about it. I went with some First Light last year just from pure pressure, you know, and I was like, all right, I like Steve Ranella. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch Meat Eater
It's
and
hilarious.
I
He's
want
great.
to support him if I can.
Yeah.
So
Big fan.
I don't think that his clothing compares to Sitka in the not that it's bad quality. It's not as good quality. Like on my pants that I have, all the zippers busted. I had to get them
It's
reset.
like a thing on them
Yeah.
pants for some reason.
Yeah,
That's what I've read.
because they use those YKK zippers. I heard they switched now to a better zipper system, but it's a bad show. When someone's going now, if you're going from Walmart camo to branded or like a quality, almost like adventure camo, I call it, because it's not just camouflage. That's where a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's Gucci flage." No, it's actually adventure hiking gear that is merged with hunting gear. Because before they were making it with camouflage, you know, if you're going to go hike in the woods and climb rocks, all that gear has always been expensive because it's very high quality.
Yeah.
You know, you want to buy it once. It's got a wick. It's got it can't tear up easily. It doesn't fade.
Yeah, I've been thrown. I mean, in 5 years of hard hunting, I still have like the same crap.
Yeah.
I'm still wearing the same Sitka that I got year one,
Yeah.
and it lasts. So it's expensive, but you know, if you can get 40% off, almost everybody here can qualify for that.
Yeah.
So
I kept that a secret for a while because I didn't want everybody having it because I wanted to. I didn't get everything because sometimes some of the stuff's not on the 40%.
Yeah.
But I didn't say nothing about that for a while. I was just like,
When
I want to be the
started,
only.
I started looking at clothes and stuff because I used to see it at the Field and Stream.
Yeah.
yeah,
I was like, dude, this shit
You
looks
look at
Let me ask this:
Straight.
when you walked in, the first time I ever saw, here's the thing about the Sitka gear, especially the Optifade, the Gore Optifade, and the elevated pattern.
Yeah.
Before I knew what it was, when I seen it, I was immediately attracted to it.
Yeah,
And it was like,
badass.
whoa! And I was like, what the fuck is this? I didn't think about how expensive it was. And then I looked at the price and I was like, oh, damn, I got to get that. Well, shit, the one that I got that zips across here, that big,
You
that
got
thing
the
was like
bag?
fucking $500-600.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to have that motherfucker. But before I knew it was expensive, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the expense of it because a lot of times at Field Street, they don't have the price on there. You got to like search around for the price.
Look for it.
But you wanted
see
it
on
when
the
you saw
mannequin
it.
and you're like the cut and everything. You're like, it just looks badass.
Yeah. So,
I talked shit about it first time. I saw the blue and I was like, what is this shit? Because, you know, it's got like that grayish blue hue to it. And I was like, what is this? This is supposed to be hunting. And then the subalpine, I was all about it. I was like, I need to get the subalpine. I went home and started watching videos on it and the Gore Optifade, and I looked at all the signs, and I was like, you know what? Blue is my favorite color. Let me go with that.
Yeah.
And then
blue. It ain't blue.
It's not blue.
It's
but
got more of a gray.
Yeah, it kinda
If
gives
you
off
really
that
look
blue-
at it, there's a
yeah.
lot of tans in there.
It's tan, white, gray.
Yeah.
And it's I think those are the three
Yeah.
colors. But then afterwards, I told my mom, I was like, I need to get some. She's like, you were just shitting on it the other day. And I was like, no, I
That's
didn't.
because I was cheap and I didn't
Yeah.
want. That's what happens.
Well, back then they were in partnership with like it was like a third party that you pay for it and they give you the discount.
What was that?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was no, it wasn't Guide Fitter. It was like
Leo Adventures.
Yeah,
There was, I knew a guy
Yeah.
that's how I got
yeah,
it before
that's-
they gave the 40. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they switched over, and now you just submit your LES, whatever
Yeah.
you need. So it's a lot better now, but most of the time it's sold out.
Yeah.
Like on the pro stuff, like my size, especially like mediums, they go quick. But overall, I mean, the gear is awesome.
All right, people
Yeah.
don't want to hear us fanboy over Sika too
Whoa.
much.
Why not?
But, buddy, have you been shooting your bow?
Nope.
Why not?
Damn.
I haven't fired it once since
What?
last year.
What?
Well,
Do you know it's
well, you know, I'm.
Like, what do you do? Do you?
You know, I
just
left,
take it, do you
right?
just take it to Godwin's and say, "Set me up."
No,
You
man.
shoot through paper. Do
No,
you?
no.
Do you shoot broadheads, field point? What do you? Come on.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance. I moved, as you know.
Yeah.
I moved, and then I moved back, and then all my shit was in storage, and I just moved into here like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
and I got my bow out. Randy had it, so he was,
Yeah.
he was keeping it for me, and I was gonna set it up in the back, and I went to get my target, my little block that I had.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
I don't know where it's
What
at.
kind of bow is it? Is it a Hoyt?
It's a Hoyt
No,
carbon. It's the
Carbon Defiant.
Yeah, carbon defiant. Yeah.
That was my first bow. Not
Yeah.
first bow. So, second bow, but the first one I took seriously.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
How many deer have you missed?
Have I missed?
Yeah,
Honestly, with a bow, I've only missed like 2, honestly. And I wouldn't lie about
Who
that.
believes that?
No, I wouldn't lie about it. I don't fucking look. I don't.
This guy doesn't practice. Just
Now, how many times have I been bow hunting and had like an opportunity that I fucked up? 100.
Yeah.
Maybe not, I haven't seen that many, but a lot. Like a lot of times, I don't even get the shot because I fuck up. I'm impatient. I see him coming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I should just wait. And he's 45 yards away. He's zigzagging, but I get impatient. So I'm like, and they're like, what the fuck was that? Deer don't climb trees, and they run. Or like last year, this deer that I had behind me last year. I mean, I can't measure a deer, but what do I see when someone says this is a 150? This is easily a 150, 160. It's huge 10-pointer. And I seen him. He did everything that I was expecting he was going to do, but I was testing out that stupid fucking JX3.
Glider in the sky.
I hate that damn thing, but
You were ranting and raving about that.
I just thought it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Now for rifle hunting, bro, if you can, I can keep leaning back out of the picture. If you get a rifle hunting, you're going to be comfortable. It's pretty cool. But for bow hunting, like the deer was supposed to go this way, but he went this way. So now he's over here, weak side.
So you can't turn him.
And I know it. It's hard because it's got a fork that goes between your legs that hits the tree, and that keeps your knees off the tree, which is a great thing. So and it makes you be able to pivot.
Old man saddle.
Yeah, you can pivot like this. So I pivoted this way because he was behind me, and it's too bulky to kind of seatbelt because it flaps around. And I drew and I turned around, but I could only get like his nose. He literally stopped right there, and now he's like, not literally, he is literally 15 feet from the base of my tree, and I'm only like 18 feet up, and he's right there. I can hear him breathing, like I can hear his lashes going, and I just couldn't get him, and I was holding for about 5 minutes, and I started getting a little shaky, and then my mind started going, like, what am I going to do here? He's not moving, and then a car was coming, and so he was looking down the road. So while he was doing that, he wasn't looking at me or he was watching the car. I decided to let my bow in, and I was going to relax, and then I was going to let him walk, because if he would have kept walking, he would eventually came out here, and I could have turned and got him. Perfect plan. Got the bow in without making any noise. He didn't hear me, but I didn't have a ring of steps at the time. This is why I went to a ring of steps on my platform. I had my leg around the tree. And so it was shaking, I'm like, oh, okay, it's going to give out. But I got that fork, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. So let me just kind of slowly pivot back. So I got my bow hanging back up, actually, and I got the tree, and I go like this, and then I relax, and that fucking fork went.
And he just took off.
He went, boop, 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 boop. He bounded. He didn't take off. He jumped about 4 or 5, but he was still in the bad position. He was like 50 yards.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I start
Yeah.
like, oh shit, maybe he'll come back. But then he just goes back to eating and sniffing. And what did my dumb ass do? What do you think I did? Yep. He didn't even look up. He just went. As soon as he heard that, he took off.
Yeah.
He was like, what's funny is I seen him from like 100 yards away come down, and when I hit the grunt call, just a little burp, he stopped.
Mhm.
And then he went about his business, and 30 minutes later he came right to right there.
Did he circle
So I'm still
wind?
learning. I'm not a good deer hunter.
Did he circle downwind?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. The wind where I was hunting, the wind, I always think I got the wind figured out, but it swirls.
It's swirly here.
Yeah, so
terrain just doesn't help. The draws don't help. It swirls constantly.
So he did go downhill
Mhm.
because I was kind of like on a slant, and he was coming this way.
Yeah.
And then there's a little path if you went down, and there's like some I don't know, some 15-foot oak trees that he kind of came through. And then when they come out, they normally come out, and where I was hunting, there's a downed oak tree, looks like a rainbow, They normally walk right in front of it because there's a scrape over here. That's what I was set up for. I was set up for this shot on his way to the trail where all the scrapes were. For some, and that's what I was ready. I'm like, he's coming. I could have leaned out and got him at like 30 yards as he was coming. I could have shot him in the chest because he was coming right at me. Like at this
You
point.
just figured you had a better shot.
But I figured, okay, I want this deer. He's fucking massive deer.
Yeah.
So I was gonna wait, and he just, I just suck, man.
Do you have a max range? Like, do you not shoot over a certain distance?
No. If I got a clear shot at 50 yards, I'll take it. Because here's the thing, because whenever I had my 3D target set up in my backyard, when I lived out, the last house I lived in out of Wilkins Drive, I had like an acre of land, and I had 100 yards in my backyard. And so I would shoot, I'd practice on a 3D deer target. But of course, you get bored, you start backing up, and I have 45 yards easy in the kills, all 3 arrows in the little kill shot. And so I back up to 60 yards. And it'd be 60 yards might be a little off, but it's still hitting deer. When you got a mechanical broadhead, if you hit somewhere around there, you're gonna hurt them. But if there's anything in the way, I won't take the shot. And that screwed me once. I had a nice deer, probably a 120, 130, but he was only like 25 yards away, and I drew, but there was a branch.
In the perfect spot.
I mean, it was like right where I needed to aim, and I was like, well, I'm already up and angled. I did not want to go too far down, but I couldn't go over the branch because at that point I probably would have shot over him because at that angle you want to aim a little lower. And he was sniffing a rub, but there was a scrape, fresh scrape, and he was on it. I had him on camera right there. So I was like, all right, I'll just wait. So I did my bow, and I'm standing in my climber, and I'm waiting, and he just decided to go that way. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Didn't
read the script. What the hell?
Yeah, he didn't read the script, but so we got a little bit. So let's talk about the cameras this year because I know that's a hot topic.
Yeah.
Banning the cameras. I know you have ran cameras.
I've never killed a deer because of a camera.
Right.
So I've had cameras very lazily placed, and then end of the season or midway through the season, I would go pull cards, usually on the game lands. And so I've had deer on cameras after the fact. Matter of fact, the second buck I killed this last season, a few weeks ago, I went and pulled that camera in the same area that I killed him, and sure enough, he was on that camera. So yeah, I've done that, but a camera has never helped me kill a deer.
Yeah. So how many did you have out in the woods?
Like 5.
Yeah. So that's not 5 in different areas.
Yeah.
So that's really like one camera per area. Yeah. So it's more like you never really got into the like, let me put 10 cameras inside of like 500 square feet and like angle. What about you?
I haven't got there yet.
No,
I thought about it this year with the whole new system or the new rule change.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
Right.
Yeah. See, I just last year was the first year that I ever went to sell cams, and I've had cameras before, but they've always been just a SIM card or whatever you call it, a little blue card. No. And half the time, there's cameras out there that are batteries are corroded. Yeah. I've lost them. I found them 3 years later. Me and Randy looking for the damn camera that we put out, and then 3 years later, I'm like, holy shit, that's it. Yeah. And then I pull the card and look, and there we are, like looking at it, like trying to set it up. I don't know how. I don't I don't use cameras. I have some cameras out there, but I don't use them. I don't rely on them. I'm too lazy. So I don't care either way.
Yeah, not the end of
but
the
I
world.
don't like the fact that it's against the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That to
I
me
don't like.
is what's disturbing.
That's the
like,
hard part. And what I don't, I'm sorry, I feel passionate about this. What really gets me is how receptive.
Yeah, everyone's like,
everybody's like, yeah, daddy, give me some more rules. We don't have enough regulation. You know,
that's
like
human nature for a lot of people. They want to be led.
They want to be like, not just, they want to be tyrannically led, and that asses me
That's
up.
the only issue I have is I plan on being here a long time. I bought a house. I have a steady job here. I will be here for a long time, and I'm just thinking to myself, what is hunting on Bragg going to look like in 20 years?
Oh, what's it going to look like in 5 years?
Exactly. So that's the alarming piece to me.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I mean, how else can we ruin it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like seriously, the camera issue.
That's just a big one, man. I mean, I know, like Iowa was the whole state of Iowa that banned them.
Yeah, but they bucked. The hunters bucked, and I think they overturned that. Like they can use cameras. Like they are actually like, you know, fuck you. You know, you're not.
I know Western states as well. Like in Utah, you can't run them in the season. You can in the summer. But the issue there is just different style. That's
just different area.
It is, but like the issue with cameras is you'd go to a watering hole, right? Which a lot of times you're like, okay, if I want to find elk. In this area, they're going to come to water. It's not like here. Water's everywhere.
Yeah.
Water
right.
Here.
That's what I'm saying.
And so, but you'd go to these wallows or these watering holes and there'd be 10 cameras. And you're like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So like that is even more understandable. Still, you know, I'm not for banning really much of anything.
Yeah.
Even Idaho for the longest time, I think they just recently overturned. They had banned lighted knocks. Why?
Yeah.
That only helps.
Yeah.
Like
that helps. Yeah.
Right. And you're like, ooh, I shouldn't pursue that deer. Or
like,
you know,
make that make sense.
Yeah.
Why you can't have a lit knock? How is that helping?
Yeah. How is that making it not fair chase? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yes, you know, just banning stuff, like it's scary. So,
well, I think that if you listen to that podcast that somebody posted on our page, it was a guy from Fort Hood. Did you listen to any of that?
No.
He had a guy on that hunts Fort Hood, kind of like we hunt Bragg, they hunt Fort Hood.
Yeah.
And as he's talking, and I'm not going to go and verbatim everything he said, but as he's talking, I can see what happened. Like they might have had a wildlife branch like we have. Our wildlife branch is hunters. They're wildlife guys. They know about deer.
Yeah.
You know, they're deer hunters themselves.
Yeah,
they're biologists. Contrary to what a lot of people believe or think out there, we say this all the time, the ATVs and all the people walking their dogs, that's not wildlife's job.
Yeah.
You know, their job is to like do the food plots and all that stuff. But I think what happened was they probably got cut in a budget cut in Fort Hood. Maybe somewhere else too, but I'm just thinking Fort Hood because that's what I heard.
Yeah.
They cut it, okay, because those are jobs that they can save. And then they outsourced wildlife management to some company that won it on FEDHUNTOPS.
Sure.
Right? So let's say I'm that company. There are companies that do nothing but bid on government contracts. Yeah. And then when they get them, they're like, oh shit, you won because you're set up as a Hispanic owned or a black owned, or, you know, they have all these subcategories and everybody bids on them, or even the big guys will bid on them through you. And they're paying you to bid on them. That's how our government works. Then they win them. And they're like, oh, shit, now we got to run this motherfucker. Yeah. So they're like, okay, so who am I going to hire to run this? I'm going to go on Indeed and I'm going to put out, you got to have an environmental degree. Yeah. All right, so that's some fucking hippie from Utah or damn Seattle that's got an environmental degree and don't even like hunting, don't know shit about it, but they are an environmentalist. So they get the top job. Then they start hiring all these.
Wait, so this is what happened at Fort
That's
Hood?
what happened at Fort Hood.
And that's when they banned cameras there?
Well, they banned everything, but it's stupid because you can still bait.
What do you mean?
Well, they changed all the rules around. Like the way he explains it weekly as they go. This is new. This is as of last year.
Constantly changing.
So they banned all cameras, but you can still bait. You can take a stand. You one day you could take a stand and leave it, then you couldn't. Then now you're not allowed to take sheds because somebody found some nice sheds and they posted them. And then the pencil neck at Wildlife was like, oh, you know, rats, they survive on those. So you can't do that because of the, you know what I'm saying? So it's a bunch of people that don't hunt that is in charge of shit. So of course, you were in a different part of the Army. You're in a part of the Army that you might understand this. If I'm Just say I'm the battalion commander at 2505, and I come in lieutenant colonel, right? And I assume I take command over from Steve, and Steve's got this thing running like a well-oiled machine. Everything's good. First sergeant's good. Everybody's in. It's running, and I sit there for what, 2 years?
Yeah.
And then I leave. I look like my job. I look like I didn't do shit. Yeah. I mean, I came in. I have to change something. Yeah. Something's got to change, you know. My OER has got to read. I stepped in, and Lieutenant Colonel Randal was doing a great job, but I was able to, you know, and that's just how officership works, and that's what happens. And I think that's what's going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't see it going backwards because, I mean, I was surprised that they were legal. I thought that they were illegal for a long time because it just makes sense. It's Fort Bragg, and we got Delta Force here and Special Forces, and we can put cameras out. But are they really training out there in the area?
How much intel are you really getting from them? Unless some Chinese or Russian spies coming over here, dressing up as a redneck, registering as a husband, going out there. I'm gonna place this trail cam so I get some fucking CAG faces out here.
Well, stop right there because now you're applying logic to it, and it just goes out the window. So. Like I said, it's not going to affect me none. But what really chaps my ass is the people that are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna destroy everybody's camera now. Like where does that? I don't understand.
Do you really have a no tolerance policy on the page if people go on there?
Yeah. Done. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Mainly because it is promoting vigilantism. Mm-hmm. There's been a few times where people have been like, why don't we get together and volunteer our time to kind of stand CQ and then go out and stop these people that are
with what authority?
Like what exactly? Like that? You know how illegal that is? If you're riding your 4-wheeler out of Fort Bragg and I stop you and hold you until the MPs get there, I'm now guilty of kidnapping. Yeah. Like there's no such thing as a citizen's arrest. That's some bullshit that you saw in the movies, but. And I just don't like that type of person. So if you don't like me, then go to another page. Right. I don't like that. We got to follow the rules. Follow the rules. Don't get me wrong, but don't be an asshole about it.
Like another thing that's a bummer is the no filming or whatever. So it's like it's always fun when like during the rut, someone shows even just like a cell phone video.
But that's always been a rule.
Has it really?
Yeah, you can't film on Fort Bragg at all. Like when you come through post,
when you come to the
even your dash cam has got to be turned off.
Yeah, but like. With this new regulation, though, does it? I mean, I don't know. So can we take pictures of?
I don't know.
From the tree?
I don't know.
Are Greg Bishop's selfies? Are those prohibited?
I don't know.
Because I don't want to live in that world.
I don't want to live in that world either.
Selfies.
Yeah, I think social media, and that's another person I hate. So if you're listening to this, first of all, if you're watching this and you're anti-social media, you're just a fucking dipshit, right? Because you're literally on social media. The whole Fort Bragg Hunt Club exists, but I cannot stand the fucking I don't even like people now that are anti-AI. I love artificial intelligence. Like if you don't like AI, you just don't have a need for it. Like it cuts my day in half. I can literally be driving and spit out a fucking materials list and say, type that up in a proposal as if George Carlin wrote it. Yeah. Like it'll literally, all right, cut the crap. Blah, blah, blah. It'll actually do it,
Even the apps are moving towards that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're putting all the data in, and then it's the AI is reading it out for you and telling you what's going to be the best time to hunt, where you should set up at. That's how I killed my buck last year. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I'm all about it, man. I think it's good, but I just don't like the fact that it's a rule. That's it. I don't like rules. First way, I don't need to be told not to drink and drive, even though I might have when I was younger, but I kind of know what's the social, what they call social obediences. You should kind of know that if you were raised right, but some people, I guess, weren't. Yeah, and they like that. And they like that dick smacking in their head.
My thing with the cameras is, it's not like I'm putting 10 cameras in one area because I know there's a buck in there. Like that's what I was going to do this year. But last year it was just great for inventory. Yeah, I mean, if you're limited on time, there's a buck in there. Yeah, I mean, you can go in there and I don't know. You don't need the camera. Yeah, you can get what's there. You can see some.
I think there's very, very few people, and there's only really one person that I even know that runs cameras to make them actually work in his favor. Yeah. If he's this year not running cams, he's probably going to kill a big ass buck, and he doesn't like get on there and talk shit. If it was me, everybody that was like, because you know who they're talking about. Yeah. You know when someone says, "Oh yeah, now the guys that are like, oh now all the playing field's evil," like bitch, even it's not even.
Why weren't you killing anything?
You weren't killing nothing before, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So what are you talking about? Oh, now it's and I've got to call that shit out.
Yeah. No, like you said, if you're gonna make it work in your advantage, holy hell, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of time. So
I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
I couldn't even put corn out. I'm too lazy for that.
Yeah.
Because you put corn out, most of it gets eaten by raccoons and squirrels, and then if you don't get no deer on the camera, or if you have deer, you got to keep that corn out there. Yeah. And corn's heavy. Yeah. I don't even want to carry my climber to a tree. Now you want me to in the off season when it's hot.
People are running corn on Bragg.
Oh yeah, they do. Well, it's part of their they grew up that way.
Yeah.
That's hunting to them.
Yeah. They can't afford a lease, and so they just whatever.
Yeah. So I mean,
get out there and scout.
Well, I'm just like I said. There's guys been hunting 20, 30 years, and scouting to them is tracks, water, bedding. If I put corn here, I'll draw them out because that is hunting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking that so much. I think that if you hunt, first of all, I don't care if you kill a spike. I'm going to make fun of you, but I'm not judging you. Like, I don't think that you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're still my homie.
Yeah.
Or even if I don't know you and I'm like, someone kills a spike, I'm like, look at that monster.
You killed a deer.
Yeah. It's just
ball bust.
It's just joking. Yeah. So if that's the way you like to hunt, that's fine. That's why I always tell people about their religion. If you got a religious philosophy that's kooky, which I'm sure both of y'all do, that I could call kooky. If you really believe it and it does that, what do you care what I say? Why do you even get offended if I'm joking about it? Yeah. Unless I'm persecuting you for it, like I'm taking money out of your pocket. But if I'm just clowning you, you shouldn't get offended if you really, really believe something.
I agree.
I don't believe the earth is round. So I walk into that shit all the time.
I watched that whole video you posted yesterday.
Oh my god!
I was just laying in bed. I was like, what did Buddy post? And that was hilarious.
Why is it hilarious?
Well, but I don't think that they're actually trying to say this is what happened. Because if you look at the TikTok channel or whatever that you posted from, it was like sci-fi something. It's just a story.
So this guy, I think his name is Morris. This guy, all right.
It was a compelling story.
He followed ancient maps. Ancient maps have continents out there, like the Samoans.
Yeah.
Okay. So they followed these maps. Now, whether or not he crossed over and met the people and became a citizen, and they told him what they told him, and he can't, whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. But it sounds pretty true. But people are like this. Look, you're gonna sit there and laugh and say it sounds kooky. But right now, you believe that a spirit spoke to a man through a burning bush, and that Jesus died. First of all, his name wasn't Jesus. I want to correct that. Joshua died, and then he rose from the dead, and then he did it for this whole.
Certainly,
but that's not kooky. But a guy that follows a map and finds land, it's plausible. You laugh at, but this kooky shit.
You laugh at religious views. I laugh at that. It's funny. Yeah. It's funny. I'm not again. I think you're
I'm not saying that your religious views are wrong. I'm just saying listen to the stuff that you believe and that you might kill somebody over.
No,
you might kill somebody. You're Mormon, right? Yeah. So you went on a bike and everything and knocked on people's doors.
I was in the South Pacific, so it was a little different.
Okay, but you went on missions, like so you believe it enough that you need to go out, kind of like me in this new platform. I always say I'm like a Jehovah's Witness. When I started surfing, I want to get everybody surfing. I get something I like. I want to. So, but you believe it enough. But if I sit back and you're like, we're talking about everything stems from like a burning bush. Yeah. It makes more sense that Abraham or Moses was tripping mushrooms and was like, oh my God, dude, this makes sense. Let's go, But you laugh at something that's plausible. That's what I'm saying about that whole flat earth thing. But I don't believe the earth's flat. I just think it's bigger than what it is. Yeah. But again, it's kind of like if you're not a Republican and you're not a Democrat, right? Yeah. I'm not either. So if I say something that a Republican disagrees with, I'm automatically a Democrat.
Yeah. And you love to toe that line and play with it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
One of the funniest things about you. You're like, I love being in that position where no one agrees with me.
I love it.
Like you embrace it. That I think is like one of your funniest qualities.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, how long we been going for? You look like you're yawning. We've only been going for an hour. You're already tired.
I mean,
okay.
I work long days.
Yeah.
Pull lots of teeth.
Yeah.
I had a lady today. little side tangent. She is missing half her teeth already. She wants the rest of them gone, and her reasoning was, "Well, my husband likes gums anyways." I shit you not.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Was she hot?
No.
Oh.
250 pounds. And I start laughing. My hygienist starts laughing. And then she's like, "Don't laugh. Teeth hurt. And when you're older, you're going to like gums too." And I was like, "Goodbye."
Oh my God. Did you pull her teeth for her? She's going to pay for it, ain't she? I'll pull all the teeth.
The government will pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
But I told her, I was like, "Well, you're heading in that direction."
You're just bilking the government anyway.
Yeah, I just told her, like, "You're heading in that direction in due time."
Yeah.
Her teeth were already
keep smoking meth. They'll fall out.
Exactly.
Keep the pill addiction up.
But
and
that made my day. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the annual deconflict. You're going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds dope.
You're going to be there. You coming October 13th?
Yeah,
Opening day of rifle.
Well, I mean,
It's
you can take a day
mid-afternoon.
off. It's
Okay.
It's
In
midday,
mid-October.
and this opening day of rifle.
Yeah, mid-October, midday.
But
where's Buddy at?
He's
gonna be on
a post
platform just hanging there.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be hanging that platform at the bottom of the tree.
Yeah, no. I just figured that was. First of all, I thought that my days were messed up. I thought opening day was going to be a week after that.
Yeah.
But it's actually works out because everybody that's going to pretty much be on post. So.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun. And so you had wildlife approve it, so like we can just hang out outside the skinning shed, put up some tables.
Well, I don't know what I wanted. I wanted the spot across the street where all those picnic tables are.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we got. But I don't know, Hunter. I'm sorry if I'm gonna fuck your name. Hunter Owen. He's with the Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. You know who they are?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay, so they're the fastest growing. Let me see if I got this right, Hunter. The fastest growing conservation group in America, and he is a part of the Liberty chapter, I guess. So they're pretty big out west.
Yeah.
They're kind of bringing it
over
this way. And they do a lot of cool stuff. And I'm gonna bring him on the podcast and he'll talk about it. But he hit me up and we started talking, about. I guess he was wanting to use the page as a catalyst. And I was just kind of like, you're free to use the page. But while I got you on the thing here, how can we do this together? And so being that they have contacts with MWR, because they've already done stuff like on post. So apparently he called and wildlife was all about it. I am going to have to switch up the hoodies, which y'all better fucking order.
Dude, every year I get one.
Yeah. This year I made one for the deconflict, and all the proceeds were going to go to wildlife.
Yeah, cool.
But comes to find out, you can't just give them money.
Really?
Yeah, they can't. They can't just accept it. There's like blue tape. So we're going to take that money. So far, I've only raised $88. You cheap fucks. Don't worry. I'm not trying to make $1.
I have a tab on my computer open with stuff in my cart. So I just didn't buy it, but I'll support that.
It's expensive. I'm sorry, but it's drop ship, and comparatively to what you buy when you go to whatever that shirt you were wearing at your house on Saturday, that thing probably cost $30.
25.
Yeah, so I mean the shit's expensive, and it's all it's drop ship.
So wait, so as far as food and all that goes, are we just like?
Well, Hunter's talking. He's got some people that have to perform. I want to get into that. He's got some people that may show up and do some hot dogs, hamburgers. It's all for charity.
Yeah,
What I think I'm going to do,
$5.
I'm going to take the proceeds from the hoodie sales, and I'm going to, depending on, it's the Fort Bragg Hunt Club. I'm going to be lucky at this point if I even raise $500. Like I'm going to be embarrassed if all the people that are involved in this, and I'm saying if 30 people, theoretically, if 30 people show up at the deconflict, that should be 30 fucking sales.
Yeah,
right there. If you're coming to get free food,
just make that an unwritten rule. Like,
it is. That's why I said I expect everybody to buy one because we're going to take this money and do something cool with it.
Wear your hoodie to the deconflict.
Yeah. And admittedly, I haven't ordered one yet, but I will. I've been playing with my fucking logo and shit and making stuff, and I ordered a hat and I made a fucking Latitude ranch shirt with a big logo with a camouflage. But so we're gonna take the proceeds. We're gonna do something cool with it. We may have to take that money and do something for the deconflict. Like if it's left up to me, I will take all the money to Duck Donuts and say, bring as many donuts and gallons of coffee as you can on this day.
Yeah.
And that way we have
Yeah.
like 500 donuts or 100 donuts and a bunch of coffee. That's all we really need.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just
we can all sit around and bullshit for hours.
Yeah. And there's going to be some people there. I think the backcountry hunters and anglers, they're going to set up a table. Okay. There's some other people that do like some veteran shit that are going to set up a table. I reached out to Godwin's. They haven't.
Did you say you wanted to do like a trading post thing, like bring shit?
Yeah, but if that's not, I'm not going to do it. I don't have nothing to trade. I love my shit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have all the garbage that I had. I kind of give it away. But if guys want to bring their stuff, I mean, by all means. I don't know how you do that though.
Yeah, I went to one of those here on Bragg. It was over at the Clay Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody show up?
No.
Yeah, that's the
like
thing.
5 people.
I think the BHA actually put that on.
They might have, but it was a shit show, and I was like,
no, because I'm gonna tell you what it is. God, I don't want to. I gotta piss off a lot of people. A lot of people just want free shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like I know people that got their whole year planned out based on who's giving the veteran benefits.
Yeah.
You know, or they'll fucking. I'll get these group texts and be like, "Don't go to the Hardee's on Ramsey Street. They didn't honor my veterans discount. What? You're 10 cents off your biscuit?" Like there was a guy at Lowe's 2 days ago, right? He bought some shit, and then he went home, and then he found out that Lowe's gives you a discount if you're a veteran. Okay, so he goes up to customer service. Now I got shit to do. I'm working. I got to turn these materials in, get some more. I'm in the middle of a roof job anyway. I didn't get the right materials, and I got to get back as fast as possible. And he's standing there, and he wants his 10% discount.
I think it's 5.
No, it's 10.
It's 10.
Yeah.
And I'm non.
But you got to register for it. You got to go online and get an account.
Yeah.
You don't just show your card.
Right.
And he's telling the lady, and she's like, "Yes, sir, we do give a military discount, but you got to go online."
Right.
And he's won't accept it. He's like, "Well, there's my card." Finally, I had to say, "Look, man, you got to go online and get an account, and then you get an account to give you a discount. You don't just ruck in here with your receipt. You know, some of us got shit to do." Like he's getting he's one of these real scruffy, but he's just like, "Well, they gonna say no discount. I don't fucking shop here no more. I just won't shop here no more." I said, "Go to Home Depot."
I love it.
Yeah. He said he's probably parked in the veteran handicap or the veteran only spot, and he's going to fucking Denny's in an hour because he's gonna get $1 off his omelet for being a veteran. Like I don't like that. I'm a veteran. I support veteran type stuff, but this mentality that we're owed something everywhere we go, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I digress. Deconflict, October 13th. Be there. Buy a fucking hoodie. I'll make a t-shirt. I'll make something cheaper. Yeah. But all that money you cannot show up and get biscuits and donuts and coffee. And let me look at it like this. You pay $60 a year and you're hunting 50,000 acres. Okay. Yeah. It's challenging. Some of us like that challenge, but I understand it's challenging. But man, Fort Bragg is some good woods, bro.
Yeah.
And you're paying $60.
Yeah.
When you kill a deer, you can take it to a fucking clean, concrete environment, hose, saws, gut pile. You ain't got to go slip your damn guts in the 80-second dumpster in the middle of the night. I'll be smelling that shit. Yeah. I can smell that. Someone put some deer guts in. But you got all the access to this shit. And now we're trying to raise money. Maybe we can raise enough money. We have enough people. We should be able to buy them another cooler. Yeah. Just like here, go pick it up whenever you want.
Yeah.
So that way in the rut, you got your deer in there. You ain't got to get it out in 2 days.
Yeah.
We're
going to donate this shit if you don't get here.
Yeah. So, but everybody wants to show up and, them donuts aren't free.
Yeah.
Somebody got paid to make them.
We're going to field any questions. Is there anybody talking?
Yeah, they're you know what? They're probably in there talking to themselves. Let me see what Weibel just texted me. Let me see what he said.
Oh, Randy, here we go.
Big buck, big dough. All right, big buck, big dough. Yes, I'm in. I will do it. Randy just texted me, I guess, because we're not watching the thing there. Yeah. I do want to do a big buck contest.
Was it you or Randy that facilitated that last year? Like who accepted?
Randy took the money.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess Randy is going to volunteer this year. So I guess we'll do it the same. But we got 3 Saturdays now to get your money in.
Yep.
Are we going to do $50? Or are we going to up it?
How many people did it last time?
Like not a lot.
So maybe
I think Skipper won $750.
That's pretty good. That's a lot.
Yeah, but if it would have been 100, it would have been like 1,400.
Yeah. It depends on what you want. If you just want more engagement, make it $20 and you get more people and it makes it more fun for everybody.
All right, $20. There we go. Fine. Fine, $20.
I mean, at the end of the day, 700, 500, 300, it's not going to change your life.
Yeah,
it's just,
it's the deer that counts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the real.
All right, so $20.
$20.
Hey,
$20 for each.
don't be
taxidermy.
don't be texting me and complaining that it's only $20 entry fee. It's Steve Randal. Here's Randy. He's texting me now. Let's see. I don't know how to. I got to pull it up. $25. Yeah, 20. All right, so
25.
Randy's saying $50 enters you into
both.
the buck and the doe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, you can't beat
Yeah.
that.
That's a good deal.
Okay, and
I'm
Randy.
just trying to get more people included.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I get you. But I wanted it to be like a $500 one. You know, I want to win some money. Like the cool kids got to stay cool. You know, we got to keep our distance from the dorks. You know.
Oh man.
How are you gonna do the doe? Are you just gonna have wildlife keep track of it?
Wildlife has to weigh it.
Yeah.
I don't. If you kill it on pub, no, it's got to be killed on brag. I think we had the same rules as last year. It's got to be killed on Fort Bragg. If you kill it off post, you better smuggle that bitch on and sign in. You know, there's ways to get around that, but we'll take your word for it.
Don't be lame.
No, I mean, yeah, we'll take your word for it. Kill it on
I killed
post.
a doe in 22. What Chris can help me get. I killed it with a.
I'm listening. I just got
a single bevel broadhead, and I had no blood trail. Went out the next morning with Joshua, one of the guys, with a dog. Because I was like, dude, I'm not gonna find this thing in this thick. We go out there, and a coyote got one of the legs. I took it to wildlife with an entire rear quarter gone. That thing weighed 111 pounds. The biologist goes, "Good hell, this is the biggest doe I've ever seen."
She was
that was my trophy doe. Yeah, she's 6.5.
Yeah,
big old. When I first saw the body, I was like, "That's a buck."
Yeah,
and then she looked at her slick head.
How come I can't see the?
I like a big doe.
Comments.
I can see the comments there.
Now hold on a second though. It's just. How about for doe we make it bow? Because I don't shoot does with a rifle.
I mean,
who does?
We ain't got time for all that.
Okay,
you gonna fucking sit down and make up a rule book and be the master of ceremonies?
No.
Then it's just rifle. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Legal.
Yeah.
It's got to be legal. I mean, I don't know how to do this, but I'll figure it out. Like I said, I guess this camera actually worked out pretty good because we don't look bad on there. It's not the best quality.
I'm on the app. Buddy, turn down your mic. Shit. I love my first light. Is Sika gray or gay?
That's good.
If y'all see Gandalf in the woods with a walking stick, it's just Buddy. Buddy's just at the entrance. You shall not pass.
Oh, I catch you. Somebody asked me the other day. I ran into somebody at the PX on Fort Bragg and was talking to him, and he was like, "Man, you catch a lot of shit." I'm like,
how you like it.
It don't bother me at all, man. Like as long as they're hating, that's like to me. I just look at it like you're so envious.
Restroom real quick.
So, what broadheads are you gonna run this?
I am going to run the same broadheads I ran last year.
Which were?
I don't know what they were. They're a fixed blade.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the brand. It starts with an M, I think. I'm not Muzzy? A gear. I'm not. No, it's not Muzzy, but they're. I'm not a gear queer. I really don't know when it comes down to like the Rampage XJ35s. I don't pay attention to that shit.
I've tinkered with stuff. I've gone heavy arrows. Now I'm like, I have more lighter setup. For the longest time, my hunting mentor was like, dude, and he comes from out west shooting at elk and stuff. He's like, dude, don't ever use an expandable. So the first few years, I was like, no, just fixed blade. And I was like, you know what? I need to figure this out for myself. Let me have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And I shot the 2.25 inch Schwackers. I shot a buck quartering away, and I watched them take 2 hops, fall over.
They do some damage, man.
They're fun. You know,
Is that what you run, mechanicals?
Yeah, this year. Last year, yes. I don't think I shot any fixed blades last year. But I also like to super tune my bow. So I want to be able to shoot.
I don't even know what that means. How do you super tune a bow? I mean, I can put the pin on and I can bullseye. So what am I missing?
So because if your bow is not tuned, super tuned, and I'm just making up a term. If it's not tuned, let's say precisely, when you shoot that fixed blade at a long distance, so if you're at like 30, 40 yards, sometimes even a shorter distance, you shoot a field point and then you shoot your broadhead.
Yeah.
If they're hitting in the same spot, you're good.
Okay.
But most people, I venture to say, I bet you 80% of the people that hunt bragg that don't shoot through paper, that don't actually try to tune their bows, when they shoot, they're 3 inches off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But does that matter though?
I mean,
I guess it would. Yeah.
Absolutely. It could absolutely matter. But not only that, it's not just the point of impact. It's if you're shooting it, it's coming off like this, you're losing, you're losing energy.
So you super tune your own bow.
Yeah.
So you're gonna super tune mine. I'll come out to your house this week.
Dude, honestly, you can come out. We'll go through it. I mean, I have the whole setup, so I like doing that. But if you are shooting a fixed blade broadhead, the same place as your field point over long distances, your bow's probably good. So I like to do that. But yeah, this year I'm shooting mechanicals again. Yeah. And Chris and I got this the new Sever hybrid. Yeah. And so it's got like a little bleeder blade on it, but it's also the mechanical. But it has like some neat features, right? It's titanium. The main blade comes out, and so if it hits bone, it'll kind of swivel around it, because that's like the biggest criticism for mechanicals, right? Is hitting big bone, right? Not getting penetration.
Someone's always got something to say about something.
Well, certainly, and I mean, there's always, yes, if you want to guarantee.
My grandpa killed more deers than you've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right, with a stone, with a flint stone.
But if you want to ensure, you just got to realize, everyone needs to know, like, any pro that you get with a given broadhead, there's going to be a con, right? There's pros and cons to everything. So if you want to ensure penetration, and you want to know that, hey, any angle this deer comes in on, I'm going to smack it, and I'm going to bury to the fletchings or get a pass through. Well, then you need to go 600 grains, single bevel, really sharp, and you can hit bone and go right through it. But at the end of the day, that 600 grain is going to drop a lot. And so when you have that buck at 25 yards, and then you range him at 25, and he takes a couple steps, he's now at 28, but you didn't know. Now all of a sudden you missed him.
Really?
So it's like, you got to pick and choose what's important to you. So, and if you're willing to not take, hard quartering 2 shots or frontal shots, you're going to wait for the quartering away or broadside. A mechanical with, high 3s, low 400 grain. If you're shooting 65 pounds.
Tell me about those broadheads that look like old school Indian arrowheads. You know what I'm talking about?
Talking about tooth of the arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never used them.
Yeah, you haven't used them? I want to run them just because they look cool. I just want to know if anybody's ever used them.
Yeah. Some people do use them.
I've got some that look like they're solid. They look like they've been milled out of a solid piece of whatever, and they're just like a little arrowhead. They're only like that big, but they're kind of beveled.
Okay.
So I guess it's made to when it hits, it spins and it bores a hole through. Looks like
I've seen that.
It looks like a drill.
I mean, you know what, the broadhead industry, or whatever you want to call it, is as susceptible to marketing and hype and BS.
All right,
so got a different angle.
So, but it does, the sharp pointy tip is a sharp pointy tip.
Yeah.
It just you hit the deer in the vital area with a sharp pointy tip.
I definitely think there are some that are better than others.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like.
Well, I definitely agree with the mechanicals being, because I've shot deer with broadhead and I've shot deer with mechanicals. Yeah. The expandable ones and the non-expandable ones, and the ones that I shot, like the one that's hanging on the wall in there, that big beast.
Which one?
That monster. I shot him with the Schwacker. Okay, and it went vital area at the high part because he was right underneath me, but it went straight down through all his vitals. It turned his insides into jello.
Yeah.
It literally looked like liver jello in there. It was like a big pile of, and he jumped twice. He was maybe 15 yards from where I shot him.
Yeah.
Then I've shot deer with the fixed blade non-expandable one, and they have run, but they have left blood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which sharpening your keeping your broadhead sharp is important.
That's key.
Because
you don't want it pushing past things.
Yeah.
You want it cutting, right?
Well, not only that, if it's a guy that explained it to me, and it makes a lot of sense. If you've ever cut yourself shaving with like a really sharp blade, it's that you can't never get it to stop bleeding.
Yeah.
But if you cut yourself with like a dull razor, it kind of scabs right up.
Yeah.
Because the sharper it is, it gets past the brain receptors to scab. You know what I'm saying? So when you cut, if I cut your face, it signals go to your brain to start clotting it up, and do all that. But the sharper it is, it goes through all that.
That might be part of it, or it might just be severing or cutting, slicing more, arterioles or small vessels.
Yeah, that's more so because when you're with those arteries, they're just running through the deer, and then that sharp broadhead just cuts it real quick. Yeah, it just keeps it bleeding. Like the buck I shot with the iron wills, it was a 25-yard hard shot. He didn't go far, but he was bleeding like crazy. But it took a while for it to because it was at the bottom, because it was like right in the heart. It would just flow right out. Yeah. So when I went over to him, there was just blood everywhere. Yeah. And then I shot another deer with one, and that one took a while because it had to fill up.
Right.
So the cavity took forever.
Yeah, I've had that too.
And then you have no blood, and then you open it up at the deer shed, and it's full of blood. Yeah. And then this past year, I ran the Grim Reapers, It was the whitetail
the
specials.
Grim Reapers are
Dude,
sweet,
those things
too.
are
Yeah,
fucking
I've
killers.
used those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the only reason why I have that
Yeah.
other buck on my wall right now.
Yeah.
If not, I would have missed. I was so nervous when that thing came out, and I like drew back, and it was only like 20-yard shot,
right.
and it went right underneath this.
Are you tuning your bow to the extent he is too?
Yeah.
It's getting into
Or
it.
is he? Yeah. See, I'm
I'm
afraid to
converted.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking and saying, yeah, I'm going to come out and we're going to do it. But that's just going to be one more thing to take my mind off of hustling and my drive. Because I'm going to be worried about, I don't want to drop my bow because to me, a weapon,
Yeah, but ignorance in
a
this
weapon is
case
a
is
tool.
not
I like my bow. I got a good deal
No, but at
on
the end
it,
of the
but
day, in
it's
my
a fucking
opinion,
tool to me.
you want to be able to, if you screw something up, you want to be able to take the heat and blame yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, had I spent an hour at Steve's house,
Yeah.
that may not have happened.
Yeah,
So
true.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah,
Consider
yeah.
it.
Or I'm gonna tell you what happened to me last year. Tell me how this happens. I got a new bow after this. I had a three does around the bottom of my tree. I wasn't gonna shoot them because this is a year I'm gonna let deer walk, and every time I let one walk, it was like, man, I was like, fuck, man, I should have shot that deer. But anyway, I go to pull back on. Finally, I'm gonna shoot, and the broadhead was hitting the bow because the post wasn't coming up because the fucking little thing that's hooked to the string
The cable
was like dropped. So from that point on, and I killed a deer with it, but I had to make sure that I lifted. So I just Kentucky windage the bow, so by not checking my equipment, I've had that happen. Like that shouldn't be happening.
That's control. Yeah, exactly. That's something you can't control.
Yeah.
There's things you can't control, but the things you can control.
And when you fuck up because of something that you didn't do a PMCS on,
you don't forgive yourself.
It's hard. It's hard. Missing a deer, even missing a deer when you do everything right, it's gonna happen. That's hard enough, but when it's your fucking fault, when your dumbass did something stupid because you were lazy, and I have been a lazy hunter. That's changing though since I've gotten into the saddle hunting. I want
scouting more fresh sign.
Yeah, I didn't know about a super tuning a bow, so I'll be calling you this week.
I just made that term up, but just spending more time.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
spending more time to make sure it's dialed.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah. That's smart. That's smart.
Good.
All right, well. It's getting late. We all got to work tomorrow, so let's wrap it up. So,
yeah, we're gonna be at 3.
I don't know what we're doing tomorrow, man. So anyway, speaking of work, Latitude Roofing. We've been hitting it, man. I was on the way home today, just real quick. I was on the way. I had to get here and set up my setup with the way I would normally do it. I had that all done last night. It wouldn't work. But on the way home, on the way here, I was rushing to get home because I actually wanted to go out to the woods today and climb. Yeah. And I got a phone call and dude needed a new roof. Got it. Just like that. $12,000, baby. Boom. Signed them right up. Damn. So we're going to be moving tomorrow. So
what's your plan real quick for the viewers? What's your plan moving forward for this? Is it weekly?
Weekly at this time. We don't hunt on Mondays and Tuesdays. So hopefully I can get my schedule. There may be a Tuesday. Like, Jonathan had to go by himself, which is fine. I mean, he's capable, but it wasn't a question of who's going. It was like, you have to go at 5:30 because I'm doing this and this don't make any money. So money's got to trump this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is a close second, but we're going to do it every week. So anybody, every time I meet you, I want you to come on. Every time I ask somebody if they want, was this fun? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was cool.
It's pretty dope, ain't it? But you ask people and they're like, oh man, I don't have nothing to add. You don't have to. It's just, we're going to talk about it.
The thing is with hunting is, at least for me, I'm an open book.
Yeah.
So if you got something to say that I've never tried before, say it here. I'll listen and I'll go try it in the woods. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Throw the sticks away.
No.
No.
I'm closing that book right there.
Yeah.
You got to get Randy on here. He needs to be on here.
I've been trying to get him on.
He's not too. He thinks he's too cool for it. He's not.
Yeah. I think he wants to get paid. He's got like an agent. He's like, talk to my people. They'll talk to your people. So maybe you'll have to pretend like you're my agent.
Yeah.
And get him on. No, he would be a trip.
You ever seen that meme? It's like the two golfers, and it's got the fat golfer in the back. And it's like Sitka hunters and personal hunters.
Yeah.
That's Randy in the back.
Oh shit! You call Randy fat? He's gonna be eating berries. One time, but yeah, he's not fat. He's actually very athletic. He was a damn collegiate football. He was a fucking quarterback in college.
Like 30 years ago, 40 years.
I probably, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'd like to get him into the saddle hunt. And I think that he is just.
Let's get him a horizontal.
Let's talk about him like he's not listening
first.
He took my bow last year,
Yeah.
and I don't know how it turned out, but
I figured he'd had an injury, and I was like, bro,
no,
oh, your injury? He's like, no,
no. Randy's just a killer, man. He just
wants to put him down.
Yeah,
no, we like you, Randy.
He just wants to focus on. I'll let him speak for himself, but I'm gonna speak for you on this one. I think that the system that he's got for Fort Bragg, like he's right. You're not fucking. There's not a spot on Fort Bragg where you're going that you don't know where you're going. You almost know every tree you're going to. Maybe you might go to this tree now that you have a saddle, but you're still within the vicinity of getting the deer. And he just, whatever.
Works.
We'll get him in the saddle.
Fire breaks, man. Fire breaks make everything easy.
Yeah.
You just drive right up to the spot, go hunt that tree 200 yards away, and then go back to your truck.
Yeah, but I still think that there's a place for a mobile hunting on Fort Bragg.
100%.
Yeah.
Like quick example, last year I took Kramer out. I mean, I found a buck track, and then I just backtracked it to its bedding. And the whole time going through the thick stuff, I found rub, more tracks, and then it was like the final spot, and I was like, hey man, let's just set up here. He got out there, we set up. It was like maybe an hour of sitting, probably that, and then the buck came right out.
Really?
Yeah. Shot his first buck, 43-yard shot.
Your DM's about to blow up. You're like, hey man, I just moved here. I need your help, which is good. Do it. I mean, that's what the page is really ultimately.
Man, I'm more than
that's why we don't allow. Like we joke around, we talk shit, but the fuckery with posting a damn 200 class deer that you killed at Juniper Creek. There were actually dudes like young guys. I've been at Juniper Creek every fucking day and I ain't seen nothing. Did you see that moose that guy got? I'm like, oh man, we got to stop. It's funny. Yeah. It's funny, but there's you cross a line where it becomes like cruel and unusual. All right. Yeah. So that's it, man. Stay tuned. Go on the site, buy a hoodie. I'll put a t-shirt out there. All the proceeds are going towards the decomplete, going towards wildlife, quit being a cheap ass, and we're out of here. Thanks for coming on again.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man. Hey, it was good to sit down and meet you, man.
Yeah, man.
You're all right, dude. You're okay. I guess we'll let you in the cool kid club. Don't say nothing racist yet.